Welcome to Made for Mondays, the source for digging a little deeper into the Believers Church Sunday messages and finding ways to apply them to our daily lives. Together, let's take a deeper look and find a way to bring Mondays back to life.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's Made for Monday podcast. My name is Joe. I am the host today. And who do I have with me?
Howdy, Joe. It's me, Jamey.
Hello, and I'm Adrienne.
Good morning. Made
Morning.
for Mondays.
Joe.
I think I said Made for
Good
Monday.
morning.
You said made for
I
Monday,
know.
and I was like,
I looked at you. You caught it.
yeah.
You don't miss much.
I don't think that's right. But I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I mean, you self-policed. It's all good.
Any who's it? How was everyone's weekend?
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Okay. What'd you do?
So one of my pet peeves, I always tell people that they have to have life insurance and they need to have wills.
Okay.
Too many people go without those things, and it's completely unnecessary and causes lots of stress for the people that you leave behind. Well, Bonnie and I have not updated our wills in forever and ever and ever. So
You did
I
have a good
decided
weekend.
I decided to do that.
Surprise parties.
Yeah. So for the last 2 months, we've been saving all of our pennies to give to an attorney, gobs of money to do our end of life planning. So we have our medical directives, our will, a trust, all the stuff.
That
Yeah.
feels good.
It does feel good. I'm a little confused by most of it, but it's going to be fine. So that was our Friday. It's just so much fun.
Yeah?
So
Nice.
great. We really enjoyed that. And then Saturday we had what we called our Alaskan Adventure Support Team Thanks Dinner.
Oh, good.
So there was a bunch of people who pitched in and helped Bonnie out in my absence. And
Yes.
so we put on a little party for them and had a good time. That was on Saturday.
That's good.
The
Yeah.
Speedies.
We did Speedies. Yes, we grilled Speedies. Oh, in the rain, in the pouring down rain. And I have a griddle. And I bought it a long time ago. I think now they come with hoods on them, but they didn't have hoods when I
Back when dinosaurs were
first bought it. So I'm out there. Bonnie's standing next to me. It's probably why Bonnie's not feeling great. We're both we have three small
What a
umbrellas, and we're
spectacle.
holding it over the Speedies.
Your
and I'm
guests
trying
are
to
in the
keep.
kitchen looking out the window.
I'm trying to keep the water from piling on
You're
the
like,
griddle.
okay, guys, it's okay. I got a will now.
So, yeah, the rain stopped by the time the company came. So, yeah, it was great.
Worked out fine.
And
Yeah.
how many days of leftovers do you have?
Several days.
For lunch today.
I'm going out for lunch today, but
Okay.
I'll have it for supper tonight. I had it for lunch and supper yesterday.
Yeah. So Bonnie's reputation
Yeah.
lives on.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good.
it was a lot. But can't have too many Speedies.
Yeah.
They're
and
amazing.
your house is clean.
And the
as
house is clean
reflected
again.
in the
Yeah,
outlet
I
this
know.
last
So great.
weekend.
And for the listeners, real quick, a Speedy is
A Speedy is a regional New York thing. It was introduced at the New York State Fair, which is in Syracuse. But it has not, you can't go to New York City and get a Speedy, so it's not like an all of New York kind of thing. It really is just kind of that central part of New York. And Speedy restaurants are called Speedy Pits. And you can buy Salamina's State Farm or State Fair Speedy marinade at Food Line. So it is available.
It's
That's
making
where
its way down here a
we
little bit.
buy.
A marinade.
We used to have to order it from Lupo's and have it shipped to us,
wow.
which we would do.
Okay, yes.
But now I can buy it at Food Line, so it's
Okay.
kind of nice. Yeah, it's a marinade. Traditionally, it was cubes of lamb. Now you can buy it. It's lamb, pork, or chicken. I usually do chicken. It's easier. And so you put it on a skewer, grill it up, take it off the skewer with a piece of Italian bread, and it's delicious.
and that's it.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
and the marinade, it sits in a marinade. The thing that makes a Speedy kind of unique is it sits in the marinade ideally for about 5 days.
Okay.
So it's very marinated. Yes, it's super good.
Is it sweet?
No, it's kind of Greekish in its flavors.
All right.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Good. I really didn't do anything cool this weekend. My dad was visiting last week, so I was.
How was his visit?
It was so nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm
We
glad.
got to meet him.
Yes,
Yeah.
he made an appearance at the Believers' offices.
Uh-huh.
Showed him around a little bit. He's He says it's adequate.
Okay, good.
Midwest feedback. That's positive. That's
Yeah,
positive.
that's great.
Yeah, we went to the Norfolk Botanical Gardens
Nice.
and oohed and awed about all the things. I took him to Press 626. Is that right?
I don't know.
I think it is. Press 626 over in my neighborhood, the restaurant. Didn't you take Lee there recently?
4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6.
Fish.
7, 10, 11, 12.
85301.
And he fell in love with the Cafe Stella.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
I've
a
been
pretty
there.
great
He just
spot.
wants to go get a bacon, egg, and cheese every morning. It's so precious.
Yeah, that's
But
a good
was
spot.
It, low key.
Yeah.
How about you?
It was a busy weekend. Our rookie Mets are not doing so well, guys.
Oh, man.
We had back-to-back games. And because of my small group on Monday nights, I asked the commissioner there, I'm like, 5 Monday games? Like, can we do anything about that? So he moved 4 of them to Friday nights. And these kiddos, there's something about Friday night. Long week, I guess, at school. And they come in there, and it's
Are they
a
lethargic?
mess. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a mess. So Friday night was bad. And I thought, okay, Saturday.
I mean, can't you whip those kids in shape? I
guess.
mean,
Could you please?
I guess.
What we're missing
I'm
is
not used to
Mallory.
it.
Everybody
Yeah, we do have a
knows.
kind of a new Mallory. Her name is Kalina. She's adorable, and she got a hit for the first time Saturday. Oh, it was so good.
Atta girl.
That part was so good. Yeah, so we got some things to work on. We got to
Alright.
turn it around. We got to turn the season around.
yeah, I mean, the season just got started.
Yeah, and we're
Kind of like the Giants, though. It just starts and it doesn't matter. It's already over.
yeah. Oh, we're 1-3 on the way up.
That's like the Giants.
Okay,
It's
for
very
improvement.
similar. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We've got goals.
And
Very
then
clear.
Saturday, I actually went to the ODU Liberty game. I had that on my radar when the season came out. I thought that would be a really cool local game, and it was. It didn't disappoint.
Nice.
ODU won. It was a cool
Who did
game.
you cheer for?
I cheer for ODU. I was conflicted. I randomly have an ODU shirt, so I was wearing that.
Okay.
I did go take one class to finish my degree at ODU. Kind of random, so
okay.
I'm technically I'm
Yeah,
an alum.
Wow.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my wife got her degree at Liberty, so I guess I could have pulled for them or should have pulled for them. I don't know. Either way, my team won.
Okay,
Yeah, feel
okay,
good.
okay.
Feel good about
Yeah,
that one.
Very good.
And then last night, guys, I'm a little tired this morning. I was up till 12:30 last night.
Did they win?
They tied.
What?
It was a great game, but
Oh, man,
ended
it
in
sounds
a
like a
tie.
soccer game.
I know.
I was going to say, I
ridiculous.
thought that
Why?
only happens in soccer.
Why does
Right.
pro football allow ties?
That's dumb.
I mean, I'm watching a game for 3 hours. I'm up
Yeah,
till
what a-
12:30.
what a
and it
waste.
ended in a
What a waste. It's like they never played.
I know,
You
but
go to bed and it's, yeah.
But with how they're doing, I was like, I'll take a tie. I didn't know if I could wear my jersey though. I was like, with a tie?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay, good.
It's
Good
like
call.
they didn't play.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, got up early, did some reading.
all that for nothing. Yeah.
Speaking of that, our this week's past readings, anything stand out to you in our yearly reading challenge?
Go ahead.
Oh, all right. A couple of days ago.
I hear you nodding.
Yeah, I'm-
She's ready.
You're ready. So
I did
go.
my homework. I
Go.
did my homework. Okay, I'm going. I'm going right now. Let's see. We were in 1 Corinthians. Did a majority of that book leading up to about now. I think we switched gears this morning. I haven't read today's assignment yet.
Say it was
But
Proverbs.
Yeah.
just the focus on love being the most excellent way, and that it's a choice. It's a choice we make, and I think it plays into a lot of what we've been talking about the invitation. Like, we should be motivated by our love that Christ has given us to do these hard things. And even in the upcoming series, it's going to play into that a lot. So I really appreciate that God's timing also affects how I'm studying his word. Whatever I'm reading, I see in the world, and it reinforces itself over and over. Just really like that.
Yeah.
So I love 1 Corinthians 15. It's the great resurrection chapter. I've occasionally used that text at a funeral just because it's a great funeral text, but it's kind of lengthy, and you have to go into some more explanations than I typically would like to do at a funeral. So I don't use it a lot, but every once in a while, if I know the person and whatever, like a couple times where I've only done the service at the cemetery, like not a graveside after a service, because that's got to be short.
Yeah,
that's the etiquette that's funeral etiquette. That's got to be short. But if it's the whole service graveside, 1 Corinthians 15 is like the best passage to use, because it talks about glorified bodies and the bodies that are going to inherit the kingdom of heaven and all that kind of stuff, and how we're not going to stay in the ground, and it's just such an interesting, fascinating chapter. So in verse 50, 51, he says, Paul writing, he says, what I'm saying, dear brothers and sisters, is that our physical bodies cannot inherit the kingdom of God. These dying bodies cannot inherit what will last forever. But let me reveal to you a wonderful secret. We will not all die, but we will all be transformed. Mm-hmm. It will happen in a moment, in the blink of an eye, when the last trumpet is blown. For when the trumpet sounds, those who have died will be raised to live forever, and we who are living will also be transformed. For our dying bodies must be transformed into bodies that will never die. Our mortal bodies must be transformed into immortal bodies. Then, when our dying bodies have been transformed into bodies that will never die, this scripture will be fulfilled. Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting? It's just so good.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah,
really shifts the focus away from grief to
it's just,
hope and joy.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, so good.
That's good. I wanted to share, I did do my reading this morning, and it might come up later, but I wanted to share something else. Last week in our group, we looked at this verse in James 5. We're talking about, and I might need your help here, I think it's in Romans, but we're talking about the verse where Paul is speaking to, we want to do well, and we still don't do well. Like we want to do things that are good, and we still do things that are bad.
Romans 6 and 7.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're chatting through that, and that's really relatable in our group, and just chatting through consistency and how do we go after not doing some of these things that are not bringing us joy and not bringing us closer to God. And in James 5, I read in verse 15, such a prayer offered in faith will heal the sick, and the Lord will make you well. And if you've committed any sins, you'll be forgiven. And it kind of changed my perspective on that prayer. That prayer's always been more of a why, God, why? I know these things are not leading me closer to you. I know they're not, these things are just bad habits that are going on. Why do I continue this? Lord, help me. And it's like, pray for faith, your trust and faith that God can deliver you from these things. Mm-hmm. And I've just been ruminating on that all week. And
it's good.
Yeah. So yesterday we finished our series, Open Invitation. And one of the things we looked at every week, I love this idea of inviting people to things that bring us joy, that are compelling to us.
Yeah.
And when you invite people to something that you are enjoying, it's better than inviting to something that you are simply enduring.
Right.
So how does like our personal joy and our faith make the invitation more compelling?
Well, it makes it more, think about inviting someone to come and watch you get a filling at the dentist office. Right. Like who wants to do that?
Right.
So like there's enthusiasm, there's genuineness in it, I think. I don't know. I just feel like, how terrible is an invitation to something that you're not enjoying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I think of something similar, and like just how I've thought this whole series, it might not like portray directly to an invitation when you're out to lunch and something like that, but just how we're living, and that's the joy that comes from like our faith. We live that out, and there's several invitations that I've gotten to something where the person that invited me, I can tell like they're living in joy in their faith. I'm like, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah,
I want to be a part of that. I will accept that invitation.
Yeah. And the perception thing is hard to get away from, though.
Yeah.
Like there is a perception that church is, we're all enduring that. We don't actually enjoy that. We don't. It's just something we do to keep ourselves out of hell, keep the plan for the afterlife.
A box to check. Yeah.
So like, I'm thinking about that too. Like, even if I'm not enduring my faith, how can I speak about it in a way that is different from what people I'm encountering have heard up to now.
Yeah, that's good.
Like just being conscientious about churchy language in general, it is generally a turnoff to people to hear that kind of exclusive, I don't understand what it means stuff. So even just like thinking about, even if you don't feel, like even if you feel really passionate about people learning that they should not use credit cards, that is a hard thing to get people excited about, even though it's so true and good and real. It's just such a balancing act.
That's a good example.
That is a good example.
I can't wait to talk more about that Penn quote
Yes.
that you touched on.
Yeah, me too. But first, also, I loved the ladder illustration. I almost asked, could we had room.
Put it in here.
Joel?
Can we bring that ladder back in here? So for those that weren't here yesterday, Jamey, can you walk us through quickly the ladder illustration?
The ladder was based on Romans 10:13-15. And so Paul says, everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. And so like that's the ultimate goal that we have for anybody is to be in a right relationship with God. So I put saved at the top of the ladder. And then like, how do you get there? How do you get to the top of this ladder where you experience salvation? And Paul just asks a series of questions, and each one of them I put on the ladder as a step that a person has to take to get to that top rung of the ladder. So then he says, how can they call on him unless they believe? So belief was up there. How can they believe in him if they've never heard about him? Heard went underneath there. How can they hear about him unless someone tells them? So put tell. And how can anyone go and tell them without being sent? That is why the scriptures say, how beautiful are the feet of the messengers who bring the good news. So yeah, that was the illustration, and just kind of talk through like the parts of the ladder that are our responsibility versus God's responsibility, or the person that we're inviting, their responsibility. Yeah.
So which part of that ladder do you think is the hardest for us?
Well, the only part that is ours, which is the telling. It's the only part that we have in the whole process, and yet it's the one part. It's also the only part we have a problem with. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
There's so much guidance on how to do all the things well in the Bible. I really appreciate seeing things boiled down into a simple architecture, and just the reminder that our role
is pretty small.
Is very small.
Right. Yes.
And it's at the bottom.
Right.
And if we don't do our piece, the rest of the pieces can't happen.
Right.
There is a lot weighing on our willingness to be brave.
Yeah. Fact.
Yep. And I think there's a piece of that too. So the telling part, that's the socially awkward part that we might think of when we're out there inviting, but there's also a feeling of being equipped when you tell to have answers, because not every invitation is just simply, would you like to come to church with me? Oh, yes or no. Like you might open yourself up to questions about faith and stuff. So I think that's also why that part of the rung can be challenging or feel like a barrier sometimes.
But as we've talked about in this series, you don't have to have the answers to that. Your answer could be, I don't know, come and see for yourself.
Come and see for yourself. That's right.
You don't have to have the answers.
That's right. And one of the rungs on the ladder here, so how can we hear unless someone tells us, is what you said yesterday, Jamey. Is there a best time for us to tell someone about Jesus, or is it just simply at any time, anywhere?
Well, anytime, anywhere is pretty good.
That's a good answer, right?
Yeah, that's not a bad answer.
That's what we have to say, right?
But there are times that are probably where an invitation is more likely to be received well. And I think discerning moments is like there's something good about that. So like you don't want to be tone deaf to what's going on in a particular situation.
Yeah.
Or insensitive to what someone might be going through or whatever. A couple weeks ago in the outlet, I wrote about 3 knots that you can be on the lookout for. That was actually developed by Andy Stanley. And he said, be listening for things like, I'm not in church, or I'm not prepared for this, or things are not going well. Those are cues that you can kind of step in with an invite. my buddy Nelson talks about 3 T's that I think are also really good. If someone's in trouble or under tension or in transition, those are really good moments because God often uses moments of tension, trouble, transition to kind of, we're a little destabilized and looking in those moments of life. And so an invite might be just like that might be the prime time to invite someone if they're going through something, because you're offering them hope to whatever it is that they're going through, not just like if everything's going great for someone, I mean, it might not be the right time because they have no sense of need. And those 3 T's present moments of awareness of not self-sufficiency.
Yeah. Keep in mind, though, that you're only going to know those things about the people that you're interacting with.
True.
If you know the people.
Yeah. If you're investing in these folks.
With.
Yeah.
So
right.
If that, I don't know if this person is da-da-da, and if I don't know if that person is da-da-da, well, then you're kind of putting the cart in front of the horse a little bit, and you need to back up and work on your relationships.
Yeah.
Part.
Or, it depends on the invite. So like the anywhere, anytime. So like you don't have to have relational collateral with everyone that you invite. Like I gave in the first service, not second service, but I talked about going to lunch with someone from the church who just said to the server, "Do you like things that are free?" You know,
Oh, that's good.
it was a great
good.
pitch,
Yeah.
and I
We
was so
had
proud of
shared.
him.
Yeah.
We're sitting there. The waitress comes by, asks what we want to drink. We put in our orders, and then he says, and it's Richard, our friend Richard. Richard says to the waitress, "Do you like things that are free?" And she's like, "Yeah." He says, "I mean, like absolutely free, no strings attached, free. That's what I'm talking about. Completely free. Do you like things that are free?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do." And he says, "Well, then you should come to Believers next Sunday at 4:30 to 7:30. We have a free concert. We have a free market." And he told her what the free market was.
Come on, Richard.
And then he said, "You should be there." And she pulls out her phone, looks at her calendar. She goes, "Oh, I'm not working." And he said, "Well, that's great. Then I hope to see you there. And you should tell all your coworkers about it too."
Wow.
And that was it. And she was grateful for the invite. And there was no, you didn't have to know the knots or the
Right,
T's.
right.
It was just
Didn't even have to have an invite
You
card
didn't-
in your hand.
No, it was
Make
just-
it work.
Yeah.
just make it work.
Gold star?
Yes, I think
Gold
so.
star
Yes,
for
yes,
Gold
Richard.
yes,
star
yes.
for Richard.
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty sure he didn't wet his pants.
No, that's really good insight. I was thinking I was going to speak to our October 5th. That speaks to the anytime, anywhere.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a lot of barriers being left down.
Yep.
I even told Adrienne the other day, I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Us in the middle of this series, open invitation, and getting to invite to something like October 5. You really knew what you were doing there. That was great. That's
why they pay
that's
the
what
big
we
bucks.
what we try to do. I mean, we try to lower those barriers so we can achieve it anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
But thanks for the insight on those that we do life a little bit closely with, and that sometimes can't feel like anytime, anywhere. Yeah,
Yeah,
Some
because then it
discernment.
becomes persistent nagging.
right.
If you are just relentless on it. But if you wait for those right moments, then it becomes, it's the salt, it's the light that Jesus talks about.
Yeah, and I think they, like I said earlier, they see it in us as well. Like
Yeah.
I have some relationships that I know they're far from Christ, but one of the things I said for my older brother actually is like I'm never going to give up. I'm always going to be a person that when he needs it, he knows who he can come to, and so we can be that person too,
Yeah, for
without
sure.
the constant nagging.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So let's get to the Penn and Teller quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so good. Jamie, you want to walk us through? Do you have that quote?
Let me
I know
look
it
and
was
see.
a
I
little
might-
lengthy. We can do a recap
I
of it.
might have it. I'm not sure if I do or not. No, I don't
It
have
was
it.
good.
Yeah, so the gist of the quote was, and actually I had someone come up to me afterwards and they said, there's another part of that video that's just so good. This person had seen it. And they said the gist of it was like, if you knew someone was about to get run over by a truck and they didn't believe they were about to get run over by a truck, at what point are you just going to go and push them out of the way?
Yeah.
That's what Penn said. And that was his whole thing is like, if you really believe that there's a heaven or hell, if you really believe that there's like good things for people who believe in Jesus and not great things if you don't, Like, how much do you have to hate somebody not to let someone know about that?
Yeah.
And he doesn't believe it. He was impressed by a guy who was willing to share his faith with him, even though he doesn't share that faith. And like, the invitation didn't move him across the line of faith, but it did strike him as a kind and caring thing to do. Like, if you really believe that, it is kind. And if you really believe that and you don't do it, it's the least kind thing you could do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just such an interesting perspective from a guy who doesn't share our perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrienne, in that moment when you heard that quote, did you have any feelings? I did.
Well,
When I heard that, especially the part, how much do you have to hate someone?
Yeah.
yeah.
I let out this judgmental, like weird, amen. And I immediately looked over my wife and I said, why did I say it like that? And she said, I don't know. That was weird. And it was weird because the truth is I felt conviction in that moment.
I mean,
Like
we all feel a little conviction from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's what this series is about, right?
I mean, it's just on my mind all the time. That's where I'm at in my growth. It's just really examining the way I've been doing things and where I need to pay more attention to how I'm being perceived. So, like, it's all... I keep a long list of all the things I need to be, all the things God is teaching me, and just not getting overwhelmed by all the work that there is still to do, and to just remember that, I need to be reminded that I suck. I do, because it's just so easy to be like, oh, I'm okay. I'm paying my bills. The sun is shining. Nobody's mad at me right now.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
Yeah,
Someone's mad at you.
But it's just not that simple. So, and it's easy to get beat down by life. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
The freedom of the grace that Jesus gives us, and the responsibility that we have going forward.
Yeah. Both are true.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that too, because I get those feelings quite often in a lot of areas of life, just overwhelming, thinking about the amount that needs to be done. And what I'm thinking as you're sharing that is, Jamey, you shared a while back, I think we were talking about our food drives and some things we were doing with Oasis, and you said, do for one what you wish you could do for all.
Right.
Yeah. And there's a part of that we can take into this too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of ended the message yesterday with a really cool moment. Speaking of like removing barriers and just taking it to the next level with like our inviting and who is our one. So we've been talking about this all year. We kicked it off in January with Here for Good and our year of inviting. We've been praying about our one. And yesterday we got an opportunity to share who our one is with others in the auditorium. Yep. Very cool moments. Do we have our bracelets? Do we want to?
I don't want to brag, but I've got.
Oh, you got two. Look at you. Well, you are bragging. Actually,
yeah, that's it.
And each of them has two names on it.
Wow.
So basically, gold star.
That's something.
Yeah. Do you want to share a little bit about how that moment went with you yesterday, or who is your one?
So I wrote mine during run through because I wanted to make sure that they actually wrote. And if they didn't, I don't know what I would have done because it was too late at that point. But it did right. It did okay. And so at the end of first service, when people were coming forward to the table, I exchanged with someone who was coming at the table. That was our friend Corey, who was at the table near the stage. And so, I did have one person tell me that we should have put the tables out in the commons because he couldn't see well in the auditorium. And I said, I hear you.
Good note. We are working on the lighting.
We talked about it, and we opted for leaving it in the auditorium so that moment could be that moment. Yeah. But I appreciated the feedback.
He is right.
He is right.
The visibility, but that is
we're working on it.
Yeah. So just to kind of recap what we did, we talk about our one all the time. All the time we talk about our one, and that's the person that we are focused on, like God just doing something in that person's life, and we're just simplifying by creating this idea of this one. And during service yesterday, Jamey invited each of us to take one of these. You've probably seen them at a concert or something where kids go into a roundabout and get to play in a ball pit or something. It's a little like papery plastic bracelet. Maybe you would get one if you're visiting a friend in the hospital. And then we each were challenged to write the name of someone that we are praying for life change in on that bracelet, and to then trade it with somebody else in the room. I love it when we have opportunities in the auditorium to interact with other people in the auditorium. Even at church, it is so easy to isolate yourself. To pick a pocket up high in the dark. There's nobody in any direction to hear you sniffle or fart or speak to your neighbor. So like, we're always talking about ways that we can kind of encourage people to take some of those personal barriers down. So I just really love that I get to interact with somebody on that level. My bracelets say Brooklyn and Jenny, and my second bracelet says Eric and Rachel. So if y'all listening would like to join me in praying over those folks, that they would join us next weekend for Sunday services, that they would come to see the DeLoreans do their thing and get some free stuff, and to consider, oh my gosh, maybe everything I have thought about Jesus and Christianity up to this point isn't true.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's a good recap. How do you think that having others pray for your one impacts the actual invitation?
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I love that that's what we did with it, because I mean, we're always praying for our one, but now you're inviting someone else to be praying for your person, your people. And there's this sense that we're all in it together that I think is really powerful. But there's also this sense that intercessory prayer, where you pray for someone else, that's a biblical model of prayer, and there's something powerful knowing that there's someone else out there who cares about what I care about. Yeah. And they're entering into that and praying with me for that. Man, I love that.
I love that too. I so often say, and like a little bit beyond, like, I'm praying for you, I thank someone if I'm chatting with them. I thank you for sharing some of the details, because I believe the more details, the more powerful the prayer. I can pray for you. Thank you for being willing to share that. And I even had that moment, like, so maybe my wife didn't follow the directions quite.
Do not.
I won't do that.
Not on me.
She just had a marker already. So we wrote down, as the message is going, we wrote down our one.
Can you believe this?
And so I go up. I know exactly who. I hadn't talked to them in a while, and I'm like, man, they are prayer warriors. I said, babe, let's go. As soon as Jamey prayed us out, we went straight over there to them. Said, can we exchange? I would love to pray for y'all's one. And they said, yeah. If you don't mind, like, let me just go write down my one real quick. I said, oh, yeah.
Eager beaver.
Yeah, sorry. We already wrote down our one. Sorry. Yeah, that's so good.
Joey gets excited.
I do. I love it. Yeah, and I heard the story behind Hunter here on my bracelet. And, really looking forward to praying for him all week. Yeah. So around here at Believers, when we finish one series, we start another one.
We do.
You want to chat about the start of our next series coming up Sunday?
Yeah, so the series is called Get Ready. It's a study of Paul's letters to the church at Thessalonica, which, if you're not familiar with those letters, he covers a lot of ground in them. And one of the things that he covers, it was in the news just last week. There was someone predicting the rapture of the church.
Oh boy.
There's always a moment someone predicted the end of the world and that Jesus was coming back, and surprise, didn't happen.
Yep, came and went.
Yeah, came and went. We're all still here. But yeah, this letter actually addresses some of that stuff, and the church was facing like intense persecution. The backstory of, if you want to read ahead, it's really interesting. You can go to Acts chapter 17 and read about how the church got started and what was going on when Paul shows up in this town and how he got ran out of that town.
There's some good history there.
It's really interesting. I'll be hitting on a lot of that this week just to kind of set the context for it. But yeah, it's a church that was in a very tense cultural setting that I think a lot of us feel. Like, we feel tension. I mean, there was, another couple shootings yesterday or Saturday, one Sunday. Yeah. It's just like, it just never seems to end. We never get a break. We never get a moment to catch our breath without more bad news. And, this letter kind of speaks to some of that stuff. And how do we respond? And how should we react? And it's a lot different than how many people are telling us to react. And so, I just think it's a really timely series. I had someone send me an email yesterday after the services, and they said, how far out do you write these messages? Because like last week was like so timely around the Charlie Kirk assassination. This week you're talking about Thessalonians, and someone just predicted the end of the world, And I told him, I said, we plan our series months in advance, 6-10 months in advance. We write them out 3 weeks in advance. So the Lord's timing is always just uncanny. Yeah. He's way better at planning things than we are. Yeah. So thank goodness. So we make plans, and then he works crazy through it. Yeah, it's amazing.
I love that. And but Paul wrote these letters as an encouragement, even with what that church was going through, for the everyday believer to stand firm and live with hope. So how do you see that message connecting with the challenges that we face in the church today?
Yeah, so one of the things that, particularly in the second letter of Thessalonians, is they thought that they had missed the second coming of the Lord because the world was getting so chaotic that they were like, we must have just missed it, like that's how bad it was. Wow. They everyone feels like their time is the worst time. Well, that was them too. They thought it was the worst. Yeah. There's no way it can get any worse than what it is right now. And so Paul writes them to say, spoiler alert, one of the things that he says is, you didn't miss it. You're not going to be able to miss it, which is not the message that many Christians today believe. Most Christians who are super excited about the second coming of the Lord are excited about it because they don't think they're going to be here when all the chaos happens. Spoiler alert, that's not what Paul says. Paul says you're going to actually endure some stuff. But he offers them hope and encouragement in that, you're going to go through some stuff, but God is firmly in control. And the end of the story, it's 1 Corinthians 15. The end of the story is not the end of the story. So he uses this get ready for the Lord's second coming. And that's really what the title of the series is about. It's get ready because he's coming back. And that's the encouragement of this letter, that despite the chaos that we're in, we can live in such a way that we're prepared for his second coming. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That is so good. And finally, just wanted, if I could, for just a second, get a little more personal, if you're willing. As somebody that does ministry life, how have you seen faithfulness and perseverance that we just talked about right then play out in our church family?
Truthfully, it's like anywhere. It's a bit of a mixed bag. There's been plenty of people through the years who I've seen face very, very difficult things, who've crumbled under the difficulty and have walked away from church broken and sad. I've seen people endure incredibly difficult things and lean into the hope and strength of Christ and come through with their faith intact in an inspiring kind of way. I've seen people suffer the loss of a spouse after, a spouse dying young from disease, and the spouse maintaining their faith and trust in Jesus despite like what's an impossible to explain how many prayers were prayed that weren't answered the way that they wanted. And then I've seen people who just get their feelings hurt because their expectations aren't being met.
Right.
You know, they want things to be a certain way and reality is slightly different and they can't handle it, you know? So, I mean, it's a mixed bag, but I think that's true just for all of us. And it's true in different seasons of my own life. You know, there are times where going through something really hard strengthens my faith. There are times that it tatters my faith. And I think that's just the human experience, right?
Yeah. We see it all the highs and all the lows. And it's interesting that a person who can lean in to a crisis and through it in the channels that God provides us can be the same person who then gets their preferences not met and stomps off. Like people stuff is prevalent. And every moment we need to reinforce these basic lessons because moment by moment we forget how to do these things that God calls us to.
That's so true. So true. Well, that's all we have time for today, friends. If you found this conversation helpful, we have our B groups, our small groups around here at Believers starting this Sunday. The fall semester is starting. So we encourage you, if you haven't already, to join a small group and even share this podcast if it was helpful for you with your small group.
So just a sidebar, not to interrupt. I know you're like you're on the ramp. You're on the ramp to going off, and you're doing so great too. But as you said that, it made me think of yesterday in the comments. I just want to say, like, our viewer listenership is exploding by one at least because someone told me that they just started listening to the pod.
Whoa.
Yeah, they just started listening to the pod
because
their B group is studying what we're going to be talking about. And so they've started listening and they said, I'm a little embarrassed to tell you that I haven't listened up until now, but boy, it was really good. So welcome to the pod.
Yeah, all right. Good.
Yeah, and the Talk About It questions.
Yeah, the Talk About It questions.
If you don't have the Believers app downloaded yet, please make haste.
Yes.
Because for each Sunday message, there's some Talk About It questions at the end there that you can use to enrich your experience of the messages even further and enjoy it during your B group together.
That's what those questions, that's what this podcast is about, continuing the conversation from Sunday.
Yep.
So,
for real,
friends.
Yeah, I'll let you
That's
go.
all we have time for today.
No, that's good. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing great.
That's all we have time for today. As we mentioned, this Sunday is our October 5. We'll be having that at 4:30. So join us on campus here at 9 and 10:45 for our Sunday services. And then come on back, invite some friends to the fun that we have, the free family fun we have for our community. Until then, we'll see you next time. Be loved, friends.